So I wanted to let everyone know that Don and Johnny made it down to JB and Susie's house in Florida today without any issues. And Don did go ahead and create a Polar Steps timeline today of the trip down. And I wanted to share some of that information with you, including some information from TeslaFi. So let's go over to TeslaFi for just a minute first. And right away, the thing that I noticed most was these peaks and valleys here on the battery level today. So Don got down to 8.5%, I think, as his lowest state of charge. And he was only charging up to here. He's at 65. Here Jules is at 67, 64. 59 and 58. I noticed that the charging stops now seem to really um, go along with Kyle's former philosophy or still philosophy with Tesla charging, that you are going to get the most efficient charging at a lower state of charge, and you should pop in, charge for a little bit, and head to the next supercharger. And I know that that strategy particularly works good for Don, where he's wanting to get out, stretch his legs, use the bathroom, refresh his iced tea, that kind of thing. So that's what the guys did today. They made the 4 stops that the car told them they had to, and then they did make the stop in Brunswick, Georgia, that they added in. So some details. They left home kind of late, 10:35 a.m. Don was thinking they might get out of here by 10. He was not upset that they left at 10:35, but that's just what it was. And then they made a real quick stop at Dollar General to pick up some, like a 4-minute stop to pick up some headphones for Johnny for the trip down. So back over here to Polar Steps, Don took this picture of me right before he pulled out of the driveway, and he also showed the charging stops. I had added the Chick-fil-A manually, and the other stops, of course, were plugged in by the car when we told it to drive to Old Town. Now, again, Old Town is not a very large spot. There's like a two couple of crossroads, and Don knows his way down there. So I didn't have JB's address in because that was close enough. But you'll notice in the video that I'm going to do that, or it has him getting in here at 12:55 a.m. There was some sort of a discrepancy between how long it would take to get from Hardyville to Jacksonville, Florida, and then this time onto the house was normal. So we don't exactly know what happened there, but it did eventually sort itself out. So the guys made the first stop as planned in Lumberton, and they went to the Chick-fil-A to grab some lunch for Johnny. It was as crowded as you as crowded as you would expect the Chick-fil-A to be, but it really only took about 10 to 15 minutes to get in and out of Chick-fil-A. So it wasn't a complete disaster. They're pretty efficient at the Chick-fil-A. And then they moved over to the supercharger. Now they did have to move stalls one time. They charged for let's see, 14 minutes, and then they moved stalls and they charged for another 9 minutes. So they weren't really there very long, but Don did decide to move superchargers for whatever reason. I didn't get the scoop. Obviously, it wasn't getting as much speed as he hoped for. Lumberton is the only 150 kilowatt charger that they stopped at today. So that means if a car was next to him, or if a space freed up where he wouldn't be sharing a charger, that would, moving would be better to do. So that's what they did. But they were down there at about 12:30 after the Chick-fil-A. So it really was lunchtime. And next stop was Summerton, South Carolina, and you'll see the little dots over here are moving as we go down the timeline. That's a Stuckey's location. It has a Dairy Queen. It's associated with Texaco Gas. The one in Old Town, excuse me, Old Fort, North Carolina, up in the mountains. That Stuckey's had a, I believe it was a mobile gas station. But anyway, this one, Don said it was older, but the restrooms were clean, and um, it was just in really good shape in comparison to one in the North Carolina mountains at Old Fort. Don did make a video here. Let's see if I can get it to play in a reasonable manner. I think every time I hit on it, I have to.
Nice, pretty Model Y, red Model Y. This is right on the side.
I'm going to back it up. I didn't mean to cut him off.
I'm charging at the Somerton, South Carolina supercharger. Nice, pretty Model Y, red Model Y. This is right on the side of I-95. You can't get better. There's not even a traffic light. You literally stop sign, make your turn, and come right here, and we're right next to it. It's at a Stuckey's, which is an older one, but it's really nice. It's not bad at all. The restrooms was clean. The gas pumps, you know, that look like they're modern, so they must have upgraded this thing. But it's version 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 superchargers. They're all version 3. There's a DQ inside, and that's always welcome on a 95-degree day like today. I'd give this thing like a 8 out of
10. So that was cool. He did a great job. There's actually not a review of Somerton on the Now You Know website, so I'm going to go ahead and upload that video. So they pulled in there at 2:24 p.m. and they were out of there by 2:44 p.m., 19 minutes. So as with most of the charging stops today, they were not very long. Don actually complained to me one time that the car was done too soon, that he can't get anything uploaded on Polar Steps because the car's ready to go. There's like just not enough time. It's kind of annoying that the car is ready to go and I'm not. So he was pretty happy today. But that again was a fairly short stop for them, and a good one. I do believe Johnny got some ice cream. So they went on down to they went on down to Hardyville, and Don said that for whatever reason here the charging was not particularly fast, and that's when he decided that he was for sure going to stop in Brunswick, Georgia. I had kind of added in that stop because it's a really large supercharger, and it kept them on the flow of stopping every hour to an hour and a half. So he knew about that stop, and he was able to plug that in. But they did not stay there very long. Let's see, it was ended up being 15 minutes, but I think he felt the charging was pokey. So and they wanted to stop at Brunswick anyway. That one is I had warned him that there was basically, that one was in there's not a whole lot there. You could look up on Now You Know, but you can see there's hotels in the background, and when you have hotels, you're kind of in hotel alley. You don't necessarily get a lot of other choices for places to go in. Brunswick, Georgia, the stop that he added. This one is at a bowling alley. He actually talked about that a little bit, I think, here. Let's listen.
Well, we're at the Brunswick supercharger. I think there's supposed to be like 35. I don't count that many. Maybe this is not all of them. It's at a bowling alley. It's it's right on the interstate. So, this is easy on, easy off. No doubt about that. There is a service station, Circle K, right up there. And, depending on how long you're charging, you could hoof it up there. I'm going to go see if I could just go into the bowling alley and use the restroom there. I suspect a lot of people have. But, Marriott Courtyard right here behind us. It's interesting. I don't see how 35, but maybe I just misunderstood how many were here. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how many were supposed to be there. I thought it was 24. I'm not sure where we got 35 in our head at. But anyway, it is a bigger along the East Coast. I told Don they really need to make it Kettleman City. I mean, I'm ready for an East Coast I-95 coffee bar kind of a thing. So, God, they were not there very long either. They actually charged for 9 minutes. Okay. So again, this was another really quick stop. And then it was planned to stop in Jacksonville at the Chaffee Road Supercharger, and they did that. Now, this one was convenient to this McDonald's here that you can see in the picture in the background. And Johnny got some dinner there because it was looking like they were going to pull into JB and Susie's house at 8:45 p.m. and that was getting pretty late. And they charged there for 11 minutes plus. I guess they ran to the McDonald's and got, some food really quick. Too. Let's go over and look and testify for that one and see what was going on with Chaffee. So, yeah, they pulled in at 6:51 p.m. They were plugged in by 6:52 p.m. They looks like 11 minutes at 7:04 p.m. they were unplugged, and at 7:04 p.m. they were back on the road. So they must have managed to, well, they could have gone through the drive-through and knock on into park, and it would have just looked like it was that time would have just been up here. So I don't know exactly how they did that. If you don't put the car into park, you don't know that you can be stopped with your foot on the brake and uh not flag it here. But I suspect it only added on a few minutes to go through the McDonald's drive-through or to run over to the McDonald's. So they did arrive at JB and Susie's house at 8:45 p.m. And a few short time later, they moved over to the charger at the house and started charging the car. It looks like Don was getting 20 amps there and not having any issues charging up at JB's house. If we go back over to Polar Steps, this is the message you don't ever want to see. You're almost too far from known charging locations. Plan your next charge. That is, if you didn't have a plan, that's not a message you want to see. But Don knew that JB was all ready to go on the charging, and and as that turned out, that was the case. So here's a picture where they're charging, and you can see the little green light on the Tesla supercharger, so all is good. And I went ahead and I added in a couple of the Teslafy um, um, graphs, data charts, that kind of thing. So there were 9 drives today, a total of 555 and 46 miles. Don actually got like 1 or 2 miles down the road, came back, did something, and then left a second time. But so that was close. The efficiency today, I don't know. Only reason I could tell you that it was so bad is number one, he was driving faster than you would around town. I don't know what he was driving, but he was driving probably, interstate driving, keeping up with traffic, a little over the speed limit maybe. But it was also 95 degrees today, and you see your best charging or your best efficiencies like 60, 70, 55, 75 for the temperature. At 95, it hurts efficiency. So 8 hours and 19 minutes to go, 555 miles. I really don't think that's bad at all. I did not do the math on what that speed was there. And you can see the average temperature was 89, but really it was definitely more along the lines of 95 degrees at some of the places. Here's the scoop on the 6 supercharges today. That's an extra one because he moved locations in Lumberton. Only 1 hour and 17 minutes of charging time to go those over 500, approximately 550 miles a day. I don't think that's bad at all. Even though you would have only had to stop for gas one time, assuming you had stopped at the gas station the night before and filled all the way up, you probably would have stopped for a full meal at somewhere along the way if you're going to be on the road for 8 or 9 hours. And that would have, if it was a sit down meal or something, that would have taken a little bit. I don't think that was bad. I think they were really happy with their stopping, and it's a more relaxed way to travel. I really like it. I know Don likes it. Johnny said it was fine going down. And JB and Susie have adopted this Black Panther that has showed up at their house. It's a girl. Johnny says she's the size of Stripe. She's huge. She's not girl small at all. And he was already settling in and giving Kitty some attention. So I had told him there was a cat down there, so he was really thrilled about that. Um, I don't think there was anything else necessarily to share. But you can see how useful Teslafy is. And I guess I could do the math here real quick. We said they went 555 miles in 8 hours and 20 minutes. So let me come back in just a minute with that math.